There's so little that the Bible says about Holy Saturday, the day in between Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday. It says so little about it that it can feel a bit like a non-event, a day in which nothing really happens. There's so much happened yesterday whenever Jesus was crucified. He gave up his final breath, the curtain in the temple was torn in two, and Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus carried Jesus' dead corpse to Joseph's tomb. Of course we know there's going to be so much that is going to happen tomorrow whenever Jesus is mistaken for a gardener, whenever he rises from the grave and goes to be with the disciples again who are terrified about what happened on Friday. But then there's Holy Saturday, this day in between whenever nothing really happens. The thing is though, if we don't stop and wait in Holy Saturday, I think we can lose its significance. Holy Saturday invites us to do a number of things. And this morning, I love for you, with your family, with your friends, or even by yourself, to reflect on the invitations of Holy Saturday. Really, in Holy Saturday, we get to see that Jesus was living in between promise and breakthrough. There was the expectation that he carried, the expectation that people had of him, and yet he wasn't able to rise again until Sunday morning. We find ourselves all of the time as Christians living in this moment, this tension. We find ourselves all of the time living between promise and breakthrough. And whenever we are in this place, we are invited to wait, but we are not really good at waiting, are we? We want to rush ahead, we want to force things through, we want to manufacture things or manipulate things so we're able to push them forward. But what if we were able to sit in this moment, to wait, to sit in the tension? Whenever we do that, whenever we sit in the tension between promise and breakthrough, time after time, I think God enlarges what he is wanting to do in our lives. Nobody expected Jesus to be crucified on Good Friday, but nobody definitely expected him to rise from the grave on Resurrection Sunday. As he waited, as he was still and at peace in the tomb, the vision of what God wanted to do was enlarged. So what would it look like for us to be able to sit in that place? What is God wanting to enlarge in our lives? Today, can I invite you to practice this? Whether it's by yourself in prayer with God, or whether it's in conversation with your family or with your friends, ask yourself the question, what is it that God is speaking to me about at the minute? What are some of the things that people have prophesied over me? What are the whisperings that I'm hearing from God? What is he actually saying to us? What is the promise that he's speaking to us? But then maybe ask yourself the other question. What is God wanting to do with that thing? How is he wanting to enlarge it, expand it? What else is he wanting to do? As we sit and as we wait, as we practice Holy Saturday, the vision of what God is wanting to do in our lives can't help but expand. The other thing I think that Holy Saturday invites us to do ultimately is to be at rest. God, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 2, it says that God finished his work of creation on the seventh day, and so on the seventh day, God rested. Jesus, on Good Friday, his final words were, "It is finished." He finished establishing new creation, and then what happens? He takes a break. He stops. He is at peace. He is perfectly at rest. What would it look like for us to be a people who are incredibly restful? People who are never in a hurry. People who are able to run in the opposite direction from the culture that is around us. Everywhere, everybody is so frantic, so busy, trying to hurry things up all of the time. What would it look like for us to go in the opposite direction and to be at rest? To join Jesus on Holy Saturday and to be still. So what would it look like for you to do that today? What would it look like for you to take a real rest? To do it by yourself, to do it with your friends, to do it with your family? What would that look like? What does rest look like for you today? And can I encourage you, can I even provoke you to stop today, to take a big breath and to take a rest, to relax, to Sabbath yourself, to practice Holy Saturday, and in doing so, allow yourself to be able to experience the rest and the peace of Jesus. Tomorrow we're going to be getting together at 9:45 and 11:30, and then tomorrow evening for baptisms to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. But can I encourage you today, this Holy Saturday, to open yourself up to all that God is wanting you to do, and also to practice resting, Sabbathing, not being in a hurry. And may God bless you and your family and your community as you do it. See you tomorrow.